Hello everyone, my name is Devashish Roy. I'm the head of training and development at the Indian Cybersecurity Solution, and I welcome you all to special webinar today. And today's topic is a very important one, that is the AWS VPN security. So we'll be talking about the virtual private network and how to secure the VPN, strengthening secure cloud connectivity. So let's begin. So we'll be talking about the AWS VPN security. What are the best practices and strategies for the VPN? And what are the approaches for securing the VPN connections in AWS environments? So, what is a VPN and what is about the AWS VPN security? VPN establishes a secure encrypted connection between your on-premise network and AWS cloud resources, means enabling safe data transmission. So VPN is actually a remote network, a WAN topology, you can say, or overlay network, because it is top of your underlay. Underlay is your LAN network, and VPN is the overlay. It is built over the LAN network. So it can have any such transportation mechanism like IP network, like MPLS, anything, but it is giving you end-to-end encryption. The security is essential in safeguarding sensitive information from potential threats and ensuring the compliance with privacy regulations. So definitely outside attacks are there. So attackers are try to compromise your security. So how can you defend your network? You have to use the VPN. Now you have to understand the AWS VPN types. First of all, that is AWS site-to-site VPN. Site-to-site means it establishes a secure connection between your corporate network and the AWS. So if you are using any enterprise network, your own network, your office, and you want to secure connection to the AWS hub, so in that case, you have to use site-to-site. Site-to-site means from one location to the other location, that is a site-to-site VPN. It can be two or more locations, and it utilizes IPsec, Internet Protocol Security, to encrypt the data sent over the internet, because GRE is not so secure. GRE, the generic routing encapsulation, that is also used in case of the Cisco and Microsoft and in AWS also, but that is not so secure. So you have to use IPsec. This type of VPN is ideal for organizations looking to connect their on-premise data centers to AWS environments. So if you're having an AWS data center and you have the on-premise your say environment or on-premise your offices, so you have to implement a VPN between them. Now let's talk about AWS client VPN. AWS client VPN, it provides a secure and again a scalable way for remote users to access AWS resources from anywhere in the world, because this client VPN can be installed, it is installed on my mobile, and I can connect to the VPN server through that client VPN from my mobile. That is possible. It supports OpenVPN. As we know, this is open standard VPN, which allows employees to connect securely to the corporate network over the internet. And the solution is beneficial for business with a remote workforce or those offering telecommunicating options, ensures data integrity and secure access to cloud applications. So this is an open solution. It is not that you have to buy every license for this VPN solution. It is an open solution, open VPN that you can use. Next is AWS Transit Gateway. That is also another type of VPN. AWS Transit Gateway acts as a central hub to manage and connect multiple virtual private clouds and on-premise networks. So you have something known as VPC in the AWS that we have seen before also. So you have to make a VPC, a network ID, and you have to divide it into multiple subnets, and you have to associate the subnets to the VPN and the VPC, and then you have to create a AWS Transit Gateway. So Transit Gateway, it is a central repository, say it is a central hub that the AWS uses for its VPN. Now it simplifies your network architecture by allowing the easier routing and management of network traffic between different VPCs and to on-premise resources. Now it reduces operational overhead or cost and also increases the efficiency of managing the network connection across various environments. So this is there in the AWS Transit Gateway form, and it is giving you a diverse options of the VPN connection. Now, what are the benefits of using this AWS VPN? First of all, it is enhanced data transit security because you are using IPsec, and IPsec is a very secure protocol. Second is cost-effective secure connections. If you are using the open VPN like those solutions, that is very cost effective. Then scalability for business growth. Definitely you can have a lot of PC support behind this VPN. Then flexible network connectivity options, so you can have any network that I was telling you. You can have MPLS, you can have broadband, say any network you can have. Now, what are the key security features of AWS VPN in particular? First is it provides you encryption. Encryption safeguards data by utilizing industry standard protocols such as IPsec, and it ensures that all transmitted information is unreadable to unauthorized parties. So, if you have, say, transmitting any information, can you transmit it in clear text? No, because if you transmit in clear text, everybody would be able to decrypt it, everybody would be able to read it. So you have to encrypt the data, and so that nobody can actually read the data. This protects sensitive information from interception during the transit. So nobody can actually eavesdrop or intercept the data. Second is authentication. Now AWS VPN employs robust authentication mechanism, including certificate-based authentication, like we call it a digital certificate, which controls like the private key, public key, all these things. So definitely you have to actually buy the digital certificate and the digital signature from the trusted certificate authority. Now, digital signature will carry the private key and digital certificate the public key. And also active directory integration also is needed, because if you're having an active directory domain environment and along with the certificate authority, it is the best one to verify user identities before granting access. And now this ensures that only authorized personnel can connect to the VPN. Now, what about the access control? Access control policies provide fine-grained permissions to determine who can connect to the AWS VPN and the resources they can access. So you have to particularly select few entities, few principal objects who can actually connect to the VPN. It ensures that only the right individuals have the necessary privileges and permissions to interact with the sensitive data and applications. So everybody will not be able to connect, because then the data security will be breached. Now, what are the best practices for AWS VPN security? So best practices includes regularly update configurations of this VPN, employ strong authentication mechanisms, continuously monitor the access logs or auditing. It means any data breach is happening or any outside attack is coming, so you have to know that. So for that, continuous auditing should be there, and implementing multi-factor authentication. So not only two-factor, but multiple factor authentication should be there. Means, say for example, you are giving a password or a passphrase, then you are authenticating with Google Authenticator or Microsoft Authenticator. Now, what are the common threats and vulnerabilities that you can protect against this? First is the man-in-the-middle attacks. So, man-in-the-middle attack is a very dangerous one. It involves an adversary intercepting, potentially altering communication between two parties. So, it means that you are communicating with other party, and I am in the middleman, and I am intercepting the communication, and I'm stealing the information. I'm also attacking you. That is a man-in-the-middle attack, and this can compromise data integrity and confidentiality during transmission. So VPN should be there to mitigate this risk. Then credential theft. Credential theft occurs when attackers gain unauthorized access to sensitive information such as the username, passwords, and this can happen through various means, including phishing attack, like you are sending any malicious say, link, then malware or poor password management. So all these things should be also safeguarded through the VPN. Then configuration errors. This can also lead to significant vulnerabilities in AWS VPN setup. Now, incorrect settings may expose sensitive data, or it can create pathways for the unauthorized access. So, regular audits and checks are necessary to ensure configurations align with the best practices and it is up to date. Now, what about the monitoring and logging for AWS VPN? Effective monitoring and logging are essential for maintaining security performance in VPN. So, what are the steps? First is setup phase. Configure AWS CloudWatch to enable real-time monitoring of VPN connections. We know that CloudWatch monitors all your hardware as well as application software resources and sets appropriate alarms for any anomalies detected. Then traffic analysis. You have to enable the VPC flow logs to capture information about the IP traffic going to and from network interface in your VPC for comprehensive analysis. So you have to do this analysis regularly. Now the review phase, implement a routine to regularly review logs for suspicious activity, now ensuring prompt response to potential security issues. So if somebody is attacking you, so you have to respond it thoroughly. So these are the theory points regarding the AWS VPN and the VPN security. And now I would like to take you to the console. So this is actually the AWS console. You can see where if you see you are having different options actually. And if you search VPC, if you just search VPC and go to the VPC console, you will find that there is VPC that we create. I'm not connecting VPC now, but this is a virtual private network VPN. So that is there in the VPC console itself. So there you have different options. So we can explore this. And there is site-to-site VPN connection. So for connecting to another site or say AWS Security Hub, you can actually go to this create VPN connection and you can give a name. This is 234 and that should be virtual private gateway connection or transit gateway connection. So you can actually create a virtual private gateway before that. So virtual private gateway, it is like the central hub of the AWS security services. So you have to connect to that central hub. That is a good practice. So here you can see it is selecting a virtual private gateway. So what you can do, you can go to the VPC, you can go to the VPN, and you can go to virtual private gateways. So this is the first thing that you have to do and create the virtual private gateway and say give this name, and it would take any Amazon default ASN or the autonomous system number because BGP protocol is very much there in the WAN environment, and you create the virtual private gateway. So once you create the virtual private gateway, it is, you can say it is pending, but in a moment it will be created, and then you can use that gateway to actually create site-to-site VPN connections. So let it be created, and now it is created, it is available, but it is detached. So what you can do, you can go to the action and you can attach to the VPC. So you can attach to right now the default VPC, and if you select any say customized VPC that you have made, so you can also do that. So you for now attach to the main VPC. Now these are the informations that you can see all, and type is IPsec. So you can see this virtual private gateway, it is using indeed the IPsec protocol. Now you can go to the site-to-site VPN connections and you can create the VPN connection here. VPN 1234 is the name, and you are selecting virtual private gateway, and this is your ISS gateway. This is attached to the VPC, and then you need to have the customer gateway ID. So if you are connecting to the remote one, say the remote side, you should know the customer gateway ID because he also has created the gateway. Otherwise you can create, either you go for the existing but there is nothing, so you can create a new and you have to know the IP address. So I'm just assuming the IP address is 11.11.0.1 and certificate ARN, if it has a registered certificate you have to give that, otherwise it's optional. And you can see the BGP ASN has come. So like this ASN, it is showing you 65,000, but it can show you any number or you can also change it. Again, you have the routing options. I can go for dynamic routing that requires BGP, or I can go for static. If you go for static routing, then you have to add the static IP prefixes. Then you have to consult the remote network and you have to add all these informations. And also the pre-shared key storage, pre-shared key for the authentication. Otherwise, I can go for BGP. And local IPv4 network. So the LAN, maybe my LAN is this one, 1000, and the remote, let it be 200. So you have to select or you have to just know the remote destination and it will create the tunnel. So again, you can go for the tunnel option and it is generated by the Amazon itself. So you can go for the styling option and the pre-shared key if it is provided by the service provider. Otherwise, you can make it like this default, and you can click on the create VPC connection, and the VPN connections will be created. So successfully you have created the VPN connection. So it is pending, but this IP address and the network should be there on the remote side. And if it is there, then definitely your connection will be succeeded. In this case, it is not there. It is a demo thing, but in the real life, you will have that say public IP, or in the remote site you are having, and then you are having the VPN tunnel between that. So this is actually the process to create the VPN connection, and in a moment it is pending. So it will be actually created, and then you can see all the informations that is there in the VPN, and you can see also the virtual private gateway that is associated to it. So actually it is going to take some time, and it will, maybe it is checking the remote network. The remote network, the IP is not there. Definitely the IP is not there, so it may fail also because it is in the demo. Because the 1111, the IP address that I have given, so that is definitely not present physically there. So it will not be able to detect the virtual private gateways on the other side, and the authentication is not also going to happen. So that is why it is taking some time, I think. Otherwise, you can go for the side-to-side VPN concentrators. Concentrator means you can have like a hub-like thing, like hub or switch, you can say. That is like your concentrator. So it is like the security, the centralized hub, you can say. So also you can give a transit gateway. Transit gateway means if you are selecting any connection to that hub, that is a transit gateway. So that also you can have. So there are definitely various options are there, and as you can see, it is still in the pending state. So because it is actually not being connected, because it is not there physically. And also you have to do client VPN endpoints. You can specify the client, the VPN endpoints. So endpoint means the router that you are having on your, the edge network means the customer network. That also you can give the details of this router and the IP address of this thing. So there are a lot of options. Even there is an option for the DNS server, that you can specify if you are having any DNS server in your network. So that also can be secure, that also can be put inside the VPN connection. So there are a lot of options, as you can see in this VPN. And still the side-to-side connection is getting created because it is actually the virtual thing. So these are the options that you are having in the AWS VPN. And as you can see, it is a very secure network, and VPN is in high demand nowadays in the WAN technologies, and it is very important for your certifications like the AWS Solution Architect, Associate, as well as professional certification, and definitely for the AWS Cloud Security, the AWS Security certification. So you have to be very aware of this VPN. So these are the options that you can use to connect the VPN solution in an enterprise network. If you have another sites, then you can explore these options to actually deploy the VPN connections there. So VPN is a very important part for your studies in the AWS, and in the AWS cloud security that I have already told you, VPN is a major part. And also, according to the syllabus of the Solution Architect Associate, and as a senior trainer, I can tell you that yes, for that also you have to have some very good knowledge of the VPN, because in the WAN environment, without the VPN, there is nothing in the cloud. You cannot have the traditional, the ISDN or the frame relay, that's gone. That's completely gone nowadays. And you cannot have the other MPLS, that is really not in the cloud that much. You can have that infrastructure, but cloud is actually going to have that VPN, and MPLS is there in the Cisco environment. So in the AWS, you have to have a very good knowledge on the VPN server, because security is paramount to the cloud. And if I'm giving, say, remote transportation, so VPN is giving us the remote transportation ability. And do not think that VPN by itself is a secure network. That is a misconception everybody has, because the VPN by itself is not secure. It is only an end-to-end reachability. without the service provider intervention. But if you implement the security protocol like IPsec, then definitely it will be a very secure environment. And that is the goal of our network security. So VPN is a very important part for your network security and the cloud security. So that is about the AWS VPN security that I have for today. And I hope that you have got immense knowledge on this AWS VPN security and you can implement it also in your enterprise network, and it will be helpful for achieving your certification in the AWS level. And I have a very good news for you that there is a contest going on, and I have a questionnaire that is having the 10 questions, and you can give the, let's say, the at least 8 correct answers of this question, then you'll be eligible for a certificate. Just think about that. You can get a certificate on this topic, and on AWS, that is will be a valuable resource for you, that will be invaluable for your career resources. And as a very senior trainer, I take these AWS courses personally, and definitely I urge everybody to enroll themselves and to learn these AWS cloud certifications right now, because AWS cloud certifications are on high demand and the job market is sky high. So it is even better than the L3 certifications like the Cisco certification. It is on top of that. So because cloud is on top nowadays. And also, if you enroll today itself, you will get a flat 10% discount on the courses. So definitely everybody should grab the offer right now and enroll themselves in the courses, and to make your career very stable, and you can go limitless in this cloud environment that I've already told you. So I thank you all for watching and joining this webinar once again. That is about the AWS VPN security that I have for you today. I will come with some new topic next time. Till then, keep studying and bye.